that yours microphone too?
Yeah. What is happening here? Nothing good. Yours too?
Yeah.
What? And this is not usual. It makes no sense. What's up, everybody? We're trying to go live here, and our equipment is deciding to...
Oh, you're already live on YouTube?
Yeah, I'm live on YouTube. Well, here, let's try this.
All right.
I think I figured it out. Yep. Yep.
Awesome.
Yep. Yep. How do we zoom this in? I don't think we can. Hi, everybody. We want to get your thoughts. Type it in. Give people the rundown. Actually, let me go live on Facebook. Are you live on Facebook?
I am not.
Yeah, I'll go on the New American Media.
Excellent.
But can you tell the people who are watching live? Did I hit record yet? No.
Cohen the Canary. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of latest news headlines. Probably a few things that we haven't discussed yet since our last show, which I believe was Thursday. So we've had some developments there. Something sure we'll talk about a little bit about Robert Kraft or R. Kelly. Yeah,
How do we get this microphone taller for you? Can you get a second one of these?
I could.
Get a second one and bring it up to this level, so we'll have like kind of like an equal volume.
Get this set up.
Sorry, thanks for bearing with us on YouTube Live. We're getting things ready. We're getting this posted here. Agree to Disagree, private group on Facebook, and also The New American Media on Facebook. So I'm going to go live here.
Bing.
So let me know your thoughts. You know, what do we make of everything that happened today? What transpired?
We have an intruder.
So I don't know. You know, they do what they do.
Yep.
Yeah, you guys are behind the scenes, truly behind the scenes. A lot of things are going to be coming up on the horizon. It's going to be a very exciting time.
Sure is.
So you guys get to see it in all of its glory. All right, are you close to ready?
Yeah, I guess so.
I think you sent it backwards the other way. So like, hold on. I don't know. It's all right. No, it's not working.
Guess we'll have to. It'll have to do.
Okay, are you on the Facebook?
Yeah, it's running live now.
Hi, everybody. You're gonna get this awesome view. This view sucks.
Why does my chair keep falling? Are you doing that, or is that?
No, it's not very good.
All the time. Seems to be the default. I never feel it falling. Okay. Groovy.
Today's episode is entitled Cohen the Canary? Cohen the Canary, is Trump in trouble? And I'll go live. Okay, see there. That's good.
Yeah,
If it holds. If it holds.
If it holds, it's in a good spot.
Okay, where will this feed go? Put it right here?
Yeah. Oh, you want that one too?
What?
This one?
Oh, I don't know. If you're going to edit them together, yeah.
Well, let's try not to make it any more difficult than it needs to be. But that's that camera should work, then we'll just roll with that one. Otherwise, we'll be doing post-production till midnight.
Doing that. Hi, everybody.
Hello. I don't know if that's going to get it or not, but that'll have
It's
to
getting a lot of the
suffice.
light. It's getting a lot of the light. If there's a way to reduce that some. No. All right, seriously, thank you guys for sticking around because we We should have probably waited to go live. That's okay. We're just about ready now. Okay. So,
welcome to the latest news and current events. It is, what day is it, Brian? Wednesday, February 27th, 2019. The Agree to Disagree show, live in Los Angeles, Milky Way Galaxy.
Yes. That's Blake Walley. I'm Brian Engelman. Hi. Thanks for joining us here on the New American Media. Blake, we're covering the news, right? We're going to go through what's happening.
We are. Well, I can turn to the headlines again. So Michael Cohen provided testimony today. We could talk about Robert Kraft. We could talk about, there's a Facebook whistleblower.
Saying what?
Talking about the malicious algorithms to shadow ban conservative content.
And by the way, Steven Crowder is going ballistic. Like he is. If you haven't been following what's going on, he's launching all sorts of hell and fury now. The official resistance has begun. You know, if social media is going to let people offer their opinions and their feedback and their commentary and their participation in the global conversation that we're having, it kind of seems like you might want to allow for all of the speech, but when you're constantly going after certain ideologies, certain things you just don't agree with, this is going to backfire for these social media giants. That's why the New American Media, we've been putting a few things together. We fully expect some of these tech giants to go by the way of Blockbuster Video. I'm not really anticipating that they're going to continue. They're snakes eating their own tail, Blake. That's how I view it.
Yeah, I think so. Once it's shown, they've been cheating for years. Control the message, control the truth.
Yeah.
Or at least, but let everyone present their side and let the truth win. But they're manipulating all the algorithms and making it far more difficult and making it seem like their narrative is the right one, and calling it fake news or what have you, or just slowly drowning them out. But it's behind the scenes. It's in a very sneaky way, so you don't even really know how it's being done. So I guess that's where it comes in with at least it's that Crowder, because they know they've been shadow banned and they're trying to figure out why, and it costs everybody a lot of revenue. People are trying to make a living doing this. But I mean, yeah, it's fine if you're the Young Turks or if you're a liberal voice and you're putting out the standard Democratic talking points. But if you do anything else, and it's sad, it's all these companies, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, they're run by a bunch of limousine liberals and giants of Silicon Valley, and not cool.
So we're going to talk about that. What else you got?
We talk about R. Kelly. We can talk about Robert Kraft. I know these are kind of old, but they're still interesting, and we haven't covered them yet. Yeah, we've been
gearing up to relaunch. You're going to see a lot of awesome stuff from us coming very soon. And so all these stories stand alone on their own, but we kind of, for the past few days, we put together what we think is relevant, what's important, what's interesting, what's timely.
We were on an assignment this weekend as well.
Tell everybody about it and where they can find it, because all the videos are not up yet. So we can use this as an advertisement to say, hey, come back and check it out. Where did we go? What did we do? What did you think of it, Mr. Blake?
We were at the the LAX Hilton for a special convention. It comes once a year here in LA. It's called the Conscious Life Expo. And it's one of my favorites. Probably is my favorite event. It's quite an interesting crowd. You get a lot of kind of the new age, crowd, and their crystals and their essential oils and their interesting philosophies and such, and your psychic readings and your aura readings and your, holistic medicines and such. And then there's also kind of a UFO element, and then the secret space program. So it's kind of an interesting mix of minds, but it's a cool crowd, very nice people, very interesting. And I really enjoy it. one of those things you really cannot find anywhere else.
And we also talked with a guy who made these tarot cards. They're called God cards for men, about the
Divine masculinity.
Divine masculinity. We've been hearing so much about the divine feminine and the rise of the feminine and the age of Aquarius and all these things. We've seen it with Me Too and all these movements that have been completely co-opted and gone way off the deep end. Fonzie jumping the shark. But yeah, we talked with him about the importance of, why are we focusing so much on little girls turning into great women? We should be talking about little humans turning into great humans. Almost as if the toxic masculinity concept has just been, okay, well, Gillette, the best a man can get. And isn't it funny, by the way, isn't it funny that that's where the New England Patriots play their football? The best a man can get, Robert Kraft.
That is
Gillette Stadium, the best that Robert Kraft can get.
Wow, you just blew my mind. I forgot about that.
Hey
That is
now.
Gillette Stadium.
Hey now. Yeah, so that's a thing. And anyway, so we talked about the rise of the masculine, almost like in the Jordan Peterson kind of style of, the responsibility, accountability, getting your life in order, removing the things that are no longer working for you or being productive, increasing the things that are going to benefit you personally in your sphere of influence and everything that you're coming in contact with, all your relationships, your work endeavors, your creative endeavors. So we talked with him about that. I found that pretty interesting. We did a tarot reading, and cards literally jumped out of the deck while we were putting them together and said, okay, I guess that's our reading. And when he flipped the four of them over, whoa, Blake, those cards that we got, those are interesting. So we're going to put that video together.
Absolutely.
As soon as we can.
It's coming. Within a week.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff that we'll just kind of filter out, maybe a new piece every day or such. Yeah, I even have one too with I did a fairy reading with only 3 cards. That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Now you missed that one. But there's some cool content. Plus
Did you record it?
Toxic masculinity. Yes, I did.
Oh, cool. I like getting content I didn't know about.
Right.
Good.
You had the chemtrails.
Oh, yeah, we had the chemtrails. So we talked with, who did we talk with? We talked with Los Angeles Skywatch about chemtrails. It's something that I used to avoid. I used to avoid the subject. I used to kind of poo-poo the concept of what it is. And I'm more interested in the subject. What's happening? Why is it happening? Let's go over the obvious things that you will hear. No, they're just contrails. No, it's just normal plane activity. Nothing's happening. And if it is, it's not. And, everybody has an answer for stuff. So I asked him. a lot of, all right, so a lot of the skeptics are going to say this. What do you say to that? So we had a pretty good conversation, 20, 25 minutes, a thorough, brief overview with Los Angeles Skywatch. Looking forward to putting that one up on there. We did a sit down with AJ, with Anomaly. We posted that one. You can check that out. That's on TheNewAmericanMedia.com/ wait, no, where's it at? It's on YouTube.com/TheNewAmericanMedia. Our website will be getting a revamp real soon. Bear with us. It hasn't been a priority. But yeah, sit down with Anomaly. I mean, what's he got? 250 million views in the past year and a half or something like that. Really interesting cat. So we hung out with him. What else did we do? What else? What other videos did we get? A whole bunch of stuff. Some man on the street segments, and other things. So check it out, is what we're saying. Check it out. Getting a comment over here. What's up, Amanda? She is saying, you guys need to do another video like you did when you went live with Trump in Cleveland, showing all the behind-the-scenes media never showed us. This is what got me hooked on your page when we went live. Cool. Thank you. That's awesome. That was fun.
It was cool. We had a great time. We've got a lot of great material. I'd like to sort through that again. It was a little bit long, but no, thanks for checking that out. So, we did a documentary on it, and it was
this is what we got.
Expensive.
We got this from the 2016 Republican National Convention. I'd show you the DNC one because we put in for press passes there, but guess what Crooked Hillary did? Guess what the DNC and Donna Brazile and Debbie Wasserman Schultz did? They didn't want independent media to cover it because we weren't bought and paid for. We had no interest in giving them favorable coverage. We just wanted to see what there was to see. We wanted to cover what was being covered, and we weren't part of their fake news. And by the way, can we just pause and comment on how beautiful it is that has backfired so gloriously thanks to Donald Trump? that what was used as a pejorative against Donald Trump has now been turned around on the people who were making the initial accusations in the first place. A complete 180, a complete reversal. Now fake news isn't about the president saying something that isn't true, or, oh, you know, it has the Pinocchios. Oh, that's a 3 Pinocchio, or whoever rates those things, or Snopes. Fake news is now the bought and paid for media that totally rigged the election against Bernie Sanders. So anyway, yeah, I would have showed you my DNC stuff, except they didn't let us in. But Blake went anyway. Who did you run into out there? James O'Keefe, right?
I did.
That was pretty fun.
Yeah, that was some fun coverage, footage and stuff. Yeah, there was a lot of the real action was on the outside anyway, so that was a really that was some really good material too.
Well, the real action.
Time in Philly. Yeah.
Well, the real action as well. I mean, the story of the 2016 RNC was about media taking their masks off or taking their gloves off, having bare knuckle situations. I mean, we saw Jimmy Dore spit in the face of Alex Jones. Blake was right next to him, got that video, confronted him.
It was the whole Young Turks crew versus the InfoWars crew, and
Roger Stone,
the Daily Show versus Breitbart, and
Daily Show and Breitbart getting into throwing chicken wings and trying to intimidate each other, and Breitbart editor Joel Pollack, just like, hey, you're out here trying to make fun of gay Republicans who support Trump, and I'm not going to let you do it because I know what you do. You put most of the information on the cutting room floor. You edit things to make them look like something that's not being said, and I'm going to film you filming them so that when you chop it up and put something out that's totally dishonest, I'm going to call you out on it. And he didn't like that. And eventually, anyway, they went back and forth, and we caught it on camera, put our stuff on the Drudge Report next day. It was top story.
Yeah, we had a couple big viral videos.
Yeah. 2
of our biggest, I think, were from that event in the RNC.
So thank you, Amanda, for checking that out. We appreciate you watching and hope that you watch for a long time. What's up, Iggy? What's up, Christopher? Rapper Mox, Leftist. Okay, I gotta check this one. Louder with Crowder. Thank you for sending this, Iggy. I'm gonna have to check this out. Okay, so let's just jump into the news. What's the top story of the day?
Okay, well, I guess the big story is, of course, Michael Cohen, Trump's former lawyer, attorney, fixer, up on Capitol Hill getting grilled by Congress. And they're trying to get some dirt on the Trumpster so that they can launch, I guess, their impeachment proceedings. And so they're trying to shake him down, get all the negative things that they can. I don't know. There's a few juicy things, but not really what they probably. Anything that we don't already know about, nothing that's too bombshell. And the other problem, of course, is that the guy's got no credibility. He's been busted in several lies, and he's not a good witness. He's been hit for lying for Congress. He's going to go to prison, and so that's the star witness that the Democrats are targeting. And I don't know. We can go up from the. I have some excerpts here from Cohen's opening statement.
Yeah,
where he says that I am ashamed that I chose to take part in concealing Mr. Trump's illicit acts rather than listening to my own conscience. This is a slimy kind of lawyer. Sort of reminds me of what's that show? Better Call Saul or something.
How about Michael Avenatti?
Oh yeah, he's got his own issues too. Some I agree, some I don't agree, and he kind of destroyed his credibility with the assault on that woman too. But anyway, there's lawyers aren't necessarily the best bunch. So he says he's ashamed because he knows what Mr. Trump is. Well, he worked for him for a very long time. He also claims he's a racist, a con man, a cheat, a presidential candidate who knew Roger Stone was talking with Julian Assange about a WikiLeaks drop of DNC emails. He says Mr. Trump did not directly tell him to lie to Congress because that was a big bombshell story by BuzzFeed that ended up blowing up in their face because it wasn't true. But he says there's in conversations that he had with Trump during the campaign. At the same time, he was actively negotiating in Russia. But he would look me in the eye and tell me there's no business in Russia and then go out and lie to the American people. And he goes, in this way, he was telling me to lie. So he once asked me if I could name a. Oh God, this is where it's kind of into the racial stuff. He says if I could name a country. He says Trump once asked me if I could name a country run by a black person that wasn't a. I say this S-hole.
There you go, S-hole. Because we're going to do everything we can to abide by the terms and services so that we can stay monetized on YouTube, as if it's going to matter, because my sports shows have been demonetized by you bums.
Oh.
Moving on.
Sorry. Yeah, so he says once they were driving through a struggling neighborhood in Chicago, and he commented that only black people could live that way. It's pretty weird stuff, but again, you got to consider the source and why he would just choose to do that. But these are the kind of juicy things that, of course, the Democrats want to talk about, because it is basically a racial politics. Everything seems to go that way. He says Mr. Trump inflated his total assets when it served his purposes, such as trying to be listed amongst the wealthiest people in Forbes, but deflated his assets to reduce his real estate taxes. That could be true. Mr. Trump directed me to find a straw bidder to purchase a portrait of him. This is kind of funny. That was being auctioned off at an Art Hampton's event. The objective was to ensure that his portrait, which was going to be auctioned last, would go for the highest price of any portrait that afternoon.
How is this news? How is this relevant to anything?
Right. So this is on Capitol Hill.
Relevant to anything.
Right.
It's just you're speaking to the vanity of the guy who decks his apartments out in all gold, gaudy stuff. He likes what he likes. He's all about him. He's the ultimate pitchman. Was it a crime to try to vote up your own? I donated to a cat rescue group.
It's funny.
I donated to a cat rescue group, and if you donated enough, so it was like for a calendar. And so based on the amount of donations, you put your pictures in, and then it was a fundraiser. So the pictures that got the most upvotes got on the 12-month calendar. And so we ended up voting and then voting again and donating again. And we made sure that Ray Charles was going to get his. I think he was Mr. November, one of my cats, Ray Charles.
Yeah.
The infamous, the awesome Ray Charles, one of our rescue cats. But we bid on that and made sure that he got Mr. November. So anyway, what else? What other bombshells did this Cohen guy, Cohen the Canary, what else did he have to say?
That was
it?
Mostly some of the, speaking of cats. All right.
There he goes.
Interesting.
We got a cat in the studio.
Yeah.
Not Ray Charles, though.
All right. So there's 5 lies that he's been busted in. So Cohen once said that Roger Stone told Trump in 2016 that he spoke with WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange about the release of Hillary Clinton's emails. But of course, Assange publicly announced his intention to release the emails, already releasing a trove in March 2016, shortly after former FBI Director James Comey exonerated Clinton. So even if Stone made Trump aware of the email dumps, it was already publicly known. And then WikiLeaks tweeted out a statement shortly after that, so saying that Julian Assange has never had a telephone call with Roger Stone. WikiLeaks publicly teased its pending publications on Hillary and published 30,000 of her emails on March 2016. Another lie, Cohen denied having a desire to work at the White House after Trump was elected. There was actually some really good testimony. The highlight of this whole grilling on Capitol Hill was definitely in the opening with Jim Jordan of Ohio calling out this farce and saying it's just really just a big hit job by the Democrats and trying to ramp up impeachment. Of course, it was well known that Michael Cohen wanted a job in the White House, and CNN is going to contradict that too. Yeah, even CNN had to point out his lie, noting it was well known that Cohen did in fact want to work at the White House and badly. 3, Cohen admitted to lobbying as a foreign agent for Kazakhstan. Is that how you pronounce it?
Kazakhstan.
Kazakhstan. Thank you, Brian. Despite failing to register as one. So this violates the Foreign Agents Registrations Act, according to Representative Mark Meadows, who then put forward a criminal referral for Cohen. Number 4, Cohen told Congress he never defrauded a bank despite pleading guilty to bank fraud. That was kind of embarrassing. So here's an interesting tweet by John Cardillo. Says Michael Cohen pled guilty to making false statements to a financial institution, i.e. bank fraud, yet he just testified that he never defrauded a bank. He literally just lied to Congress again. Lastly, this is the short list of 5. This Cohen stated that he's never been to Prague, which contradicts assertions from the infamous Steele dossier. So either Cohen is lying or the Steele dossier fabricated the claim Cohen traveled to Prague to meet with Kremlin officials to discuss payments to whoever hacked Hillary Clinton. So it just goes on and on. I don't know. I mean, yes, the guy, there's no doubt that, Trump has done some shady things, whether it's in business or whether he had affairs with a porn star and a Playboy model, and then they paid the hush money. And, those are, character things. But, I mean, it's not like, the whole purpose of everything was to see if there was some collusion with the Russians to overthrow the election, which there hasn't been. And, Michael Cohen, the former fixer for Donald Trump, under fire. And, Canary, Cohen the Canary.
And this is from the week over here. I just wanted to add this. Republican questioning of Cohen might backfire, and the Democrats are overreaching. This one's saying the early reviews are in, and so far it's not so good for the Republican line of questioning in Michael Cohen's testimony on Wednesday. It hasn't been much better for Democrats by most accounts either. CNN analyst Jeffrey Toobin did not mince words in his critique of the hearing, saying that he was struck by the breathtaking incompetence of the questioning that did not lead to any valuable information from Cohen. So, is this just about done
CNN,
yet? Are we almost done with this
Trump
yet?
haters of all. Yeah, again.
Well, I mean, honestly, there is a smoking gun that he may have asked somebody to bid on his painting. Stop the presses, roll out the impeachment proceedings.
Yeah, we know he's an egomaniac. What don't we know? So, but he's our egomaniac, and I think that's kind of funny.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. This whole thing is ridiculous. It was funny for a couple of weeks. It was funny for a couple of months.
Yeah,
we're on what, 2 years? 2 years of this stuff already? I mean, it's just kind of ridiculous.
2 years, and now here's the star witness, and here's where the Democrats are. Yeah, now we're gonna get you. So if the Miller investigation goes nowhere, then they can do their own. But here's their. This was it. This is the headliner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not much going on.
Fantastic. All right, so that's Cohen. I guess let's see if any more comes of that. Is this going on again tomorrow? Is this still happening?
I have no idea.
Who knows? All right, wait. Here's what we'll say. We'll let you know if something interesting comes of this. We haven't seen anything interesting from it yet. Okay.
Okay.
Moving on.
Exactly. So from there, I don't know. Here's a quick one. We had Hillary Clinton's ex-campaign chairman, victim of 2016 campaign hack, thinks the cell door will shut on Roger Stone. So speaking of which, Roger Stone allegedly was in contact with Julian Assange about the WikiLeaks hack or data dump on all the emails. And I don't know if there was any communication or not. And either way, I think I'm a lot more concerned about what's in the emails rather than that they were leaked. And that's what's disturbing about this one, because this is about John Podesta.
That name, Podesta.
Yeah. So this is speaking of somebody who probably should be in jail. He's talking about that basically Roger Stone should be in jail because he might have had something to do with it, which is knowing what. It's not like Roger Stone hacked the documents and gave them to WikiLeaks. So I don't know where he's coming from on this, but they're going to shoot the messenger rather than looking at the really horrible things that were in this guy's email. And this is pretty nasty. So Hillary Clinton's former campaign chairman, John Podesta, still harbors strong emotions about Roger Stone, the Republican dirty trickster he believes played a role in releasing his hacked personal emails to try and gain an edge in the final month of the 2016 presidential contest. Here is his quote: "I think Roger Stone's on his way to prison, quite frankly. Podesta told ABC News as Stone awaits trial on allegations he lied about his indirect communications with WikiLeaks, the organization that blasted his hacked emails into cyberspace. Last quote, I think at the end of the day, he can strut and he can do his Nixon impressions, but maybe when the cell door clanks, he'll feel a little bit more remorse. Well, I don't know. I think John Podesta is a monster, and I think jail is probably too good for him. But I think that he definitely needs to be quarantined, and I'm disturbed that the press wouldn't talk about what's actually in the contents, because he seems to be a really a creepy potential pedophile who's into really disgusting occult stuff. And then you got that horrible picture of him with his holding his hands up, and he's got the symbols, and he's trying to hang out with parties with Mariana Abramovich.
Abramovich.
Yeah, it's really, this dude is into some really serious sick stuff, and he's has another email talking about being in a hot tub with children under. Yeah, it's just.
So it goes
those
on
are
and
things
on.
to.
I mean, those are just allegations, though, right? Nothing ever.
I don't
came
know.
out.
I mean, why aren't we talking about what's in the emails, and why are we just talking about we're mad about that they were hacked and leaked?
So what? Yeah, let's discuss the content of the emails.
Absolutely. And the guy's he was known as Andrew Breitbart, famous journalist, was talking about how come the press doesn't talk about how this guy's like a world-class child trafficking cover-upper.
Yeah.
You got his brother Tony, who's into really disgusting like artwork with torture stuff. He's obsessed with Jeffrey Dahmer. Like, why don't we investigate those guys? Why don't we talk about the Clinton Foundation and going in there? And then you've got, Bill Clinton, who's a well-known pervert, hanging out with, Jeffrey Epstein, going to his island like 26 times. How about, Anthony Weiner? I mean, these are all in the same circle. Who was going after a minor online? And any other number of sick things that he's into, and what was on his laptop. I mean, those are the really, that's where all the juicy stories are. And of course, the Democrats don't want to do that. They want to sit here and grill some, con man lawyer.
Well, there was a meme that I saw earlier. Did I put it out? I think I put it in the Fake News Conspiracy Theory Hub. It's our private Facebook group. We keep a lot of our groups private, but if you start to know us and start to work with us and start to comment with us, and we'll let you into the clubs. We got people watching. Thank you to everybody watching real quick. Keith Piper, Renee, Mauricio, Christopher, Amanda, everybody. Thank you so much. Let me do a couple of things real quick. The picture I was talking about, it was one of those Steven Crowder Changed My Mind, where he's sitting at the table.
Yeah, they just keep changing that.
Yeah, they just keep changing it. And it says, if Michael Cohen was testifying against Hillary today, he would have been dead 2 days ago. Changed my mind.
Yeah, 48 hours. Yep.
Yeah, or whatever it is.
Right.
A couple of things here. I just want to say hello to everybody that's watching. Acknowledge some of these comments. Malcolm is saying, it is possible to be at peace on this earth. Decisions are not perfect decisions, and they're bettered with co-created leadership. We are all one nature. Yeah. Hey, we're all part of this together. We're all looking through the news, trying to figure out what's relevant, what's accurate, and we're all doing this together. That is the New American Media. It's anyone with a cell phone. Anybody, click the thing and watch and participate. Leave your comments. We want a conversation to take place. Occult Priestess is saying, hi, guys. Saying the real story today is Joe Rogan and Alex Jones. She's saying that's the story we need to cover. Joe and Alex.
Yeah, we covered that last week because it was a blood feud and it was getting ugly, going off the rails. And I didn't know if it was, at one point I thought it was a publicity stunt. Then it kept getting worse and worse and worse. And then I was like, I didn't know. I was just like, man, Alex, you need to back off, take a vacation, take a walk, calm down. But today it looks like they've made up.
What's that phrase? Something Francis. Calm down, Francis.
Is that from Stripes?
Yeah, like nobody calls me.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember exactly what that line is, but yeah, just calling him Francis. Want to acknowledge Keith. Actually, Mauricio was commenting in here a second ago. He said Facebook did something to his algorithm, commenting on what we were saying earlier.
Lighten up, Francis.
Lighten up, Francis. There you go. Mauricio was just chiming in saying that something happened to him in his Facebook algorithms too. Something changed. And he says, I mean, it's bad stuff. He thinks that Cohen was coached. I've been hearing a lot of that it you know, a lot like Kavanaugh and all this stuff. It's just ridiculous. Well, like, it's such a sham, all of this stuff.
Yeah, and Jim Jordan called it out right away. He did mention that this was all, you know, a big hit job. And yeah, the Cohen was coached by Representative Cummings, and there's, you know, a couple other people. Who knows?
Cummings, that guy.
Yeah.
Occult Priestess saying, stand and deliver, Francis Bacon. All right, I see what we're doing. Oh, that's literally 6 degrees of Francis Bacon, of Kevin Bacon. Well, I see what we're doing here. This could get fun. I want to go to Keith. Keith is saying, no new breakthroughs with Cohen. Same crap they've been trying to say for months, and Cohen has no proof to corroborate any of his claims, except for Stormy Daniels' payment, which everybody already knew. Absolutely. And he's also saying, Brian, on a side note, I was listening to Sebastian Gorka yesterday, and they had a great discussion on cultural Marxism, which most national talk shows avoid. Yes, I know that is one of your best, most hot button issues for you. You're in our School Indoctrination Network. That's another private Facebook group. TNAM School Indoctrination Network. SIN. School Indoctrination Network. Because it's cultural Marxism creeping into our schools. There's actually a story over here. I do want to get to that Google one. I don't want to lose it. But the other story, what was we were talking about cultural Marxism in schools in China. There was a China story. Where'd that thing go? I think they just moved it. See, that's
what happened with the Drudge Report. Yeah, he's always updating it. So
yeah,
his headlines fall.
How often does the Drudge Report change?
It's like be every 5 minutes or something. Even quicker.
Yeah, this was about Chinese infiltration into the United States school system, and I don't know where the hell that story went. It literally just popped away. Now I'm looking at occasional cortex. Alexandria Occasional Cortex lashing out after pictures surface of her hamburger dinner, which is obviously as irrelevant as actually that is pretty funny, and that picture is great. She's eating a hamburger and she's all about cow farts. Anyway, so that's pretty interesting. Okay, so where are we at here? I know I took us off the rails because I want to tell you about the Loudworth Crowder meme and want to get to all your comments. Leave your comments.
That, we could say there's a couple stories about that. A quick one is the Time for Action Chase Bank denying service to conservatives. I think this is more to do with Laura Loomer, but I think there were some other people involved. So it's hard to imagine how conservatives could be even more complacent than they actually are about what's being done to this country. The schools our children are taught in are almost universally run by liberals who hate everything we stand for, but we don't demand that our representatives pull funding from state schools that behave that way. Hollywood has become vocally over-the-top hostile to Christians and conservatives, but we still go to see movies anyway. We still buy the papers and watch the cable news shows of networks that talk about us like we're Nazis because we don't agree with their liberal worldview. More recently, increasing monopolistic social media companies that have an inordinate amount of control over who gets heard and who doesn't have started actively targeting conservatives, and we just shrug or spout platitudes. So what happens when banks and credit card companies target people for their political views? Do we need to build our own banks too? Here's activist Laura Loomer, who has already been banned by PayPal, claims she had her account suspended by Chase Bank. And we've got Enrique Tarrio, the black leader of the Proud Boys, a group that has laughably been branded a white supremacist organization by liberals, was also suspended by Chase. So was Martina Marcota and Joe Biggs, who made enough of an issue that Chase reluctantly gave him his account back. So yeah, that's several people that have been targeted by the bank. And now this new story from Project Veritas, we were talking about O'Keefe earlier. Facebook whistleblower exposes a malicious algorithm to shadow ban and they call de-boost the conservative content. Or I guess it'd just be pretty much anything that's not liberal. And,
de-boosted. It's interesting. I have a few points I wanted to run through here. the soft Project Veritas. We're talking about them anyway. With what's his face?
James O'Keefe.
James O'Keefe. Yes, I'm. My random access memory is a little foggy these days. I'm juggling a lot of things. But over here with James O'Keefe from Project Veritas is saying that there was an insider formerly responsible for content review in Facebook's intellectual property department. He's speaking out, loses his job. Facebook engineers plan to demote their bad content. Conservative Facebook page live streams secretly deboosted. No notice to page owners. Facebook can classify users as trolls based on their vocabulary, then punish them by limiting their bandwidth and blocking comments. Facebook engineer, hateful content is coming from right-leaning sites. Special features triggered leading up to important elections. Really? Wow, so surprising. Bizarre view of hate speech includes content from conservative commentator. This just goes on and on and on, and this is something that needs more attention, Blake. This is something that is throttling free speech.
If you can post it on Facebook without them, removing it, yeah. If you can actually try to get your point across, yeah, and try to show people, hey, this is what they're doing, but then nobody sees it.
Yeah, it goes down the memory hole, like we say.
Deboosted.
Deboosting.
There's
get some audio. Here we go. Boosting.
Yeah, it says here, yes, the meme content is, so let's examine the troll behavior. This is I think it's some sort of internal memo from Facebook. So trolls, they're I guess, you're passing it out and saying, here's what you look for all the people who are supposed to be monitoring. So they're saying, they're outlining trolls are involved in many destructive behaviors on Facebook, including, I guess, raids. These are coordinated attacks on groups, pages, and individuals, as doxing and harassment. I mean, these are legitimate things that should not be done. You got false reporting of groups, pages, and individuals to Facebook ops. You got toxic meme creation and templating for widespread dissemination to various Facebook groups and pages. Yeah, they are losing the meme war badly. And so their solution is not to come up with new ones. It's the better ones, their own kind. It's to shut down memes in general. They say one's black propaganda. And here's the interesting one is for a no-no for troll behavior is called red pilling normies to convert them to their worldview. So, yeah,
it's called conversation. It's called the marketplace of ideas.
Yeah, it's about showing people that
who are these totalitarians that think they know best? Let it happen. And if you're not calling for violence, you're not planning an attack, you're not doxing and like Spike Lee, your hero on the left. Don't forget that he doxed. What was it, like two 80-year-old residents of a neighborhood that he thought was George Zimmerman, so he doxed them, and they were firebombing the place. They had to have 24-hour surveillance. The people had to move out. Like, this is your hero. This is when words fail, you resort to violence, pitchforks, torches, and mob violence, mob rule. This is garbage, and it's happening online. And you do it by doing what you've done to my page at The New American Media. On Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, on Instagram, on Patreon. Every freaking thing that we've done has been shadow banned, demonetized, censored. I'm at the point now where there are some videos that we've put out. The Killer Clown video, one of them in particular, received a strike, a copyright claim because I used an image. I said, well, we're discussing what happened. It's relevant to the story. It's just a screensaver image, and it's from this kid's YouTube video where they're jumping out with an axe, is wearing a killer clown costume, and they're confronting people in Times Square or Central Park, I think. And people are freaking out, and this is so funny. And one of the guys pulls out a gun and aims it at him. And I'm like, I brought in John Correa from Active Self-Protection, and we're talking about the danger of people, these kids, teenagers just goofing around trying to get millions of views on YouTube, trying to go viral like a jackass kind of thing. That'll get you shot dead. You want to terrorize somebody and make them fear for their life. That's a good way to end up dead. So I did a show about, hey, don't do stupid things that could make you end up dead. In that show, that video, just in particular, because this is probably happening to a bunch, I can't find it even when I search for it. It's gone. I type it in word for word, and it will not pop. It will not populate on YouTube. Then there's other occasions where I type in my name and the name of a guest. We've been doing shows for 7-8 years. I type in my name and the name of the guest and agree to disagree or The New American Media, whatever. It will not show. It will not show up. It's been, what do you even call it? It's gone down the memory. They've shadow banned it. They've quarantined the video where it still exists on my page, but nobody else can see it. It's like on Twitter. You send something out. Oh, this is a great one. This is funny. You send it out. Nothing. Crickets. Chirp, chirp. Chirp, chirp. Chirp, chirp. You might get one retweet or something. You're like, there's no way the people that are following me are seeing my content. This is kind of demoralizing. This is kind of infuriating. But the Democrats and big media, big tech, I think they've overplayed their hand, and this is coming back to bite them. And there's going to be a blockbuster falling by the wayside when Netflix comes in. There's going to be a reckoning for all of this nonsensical behavior. This stuff, I mean, you guys are so damn smart. You think they have the whole world figured out. If we just lived by your rules, everything would be the socialist utopian paradise, AKA hell on earth. No, we're not doing it. We don't like your big government stuff. We don't like your globalist stuff. We don't want that crap. And I don't care what your leftist politicians are telling you, what they're saying. We're not buying it. And we're going to be in the marketplace of ideas, talking with people through memes. One simple meme. If Michael Cohen were testifying against Hillary Clinton, he would have been dead 2 days ago. Changed my mind. Talking about Seth Rich, talking about all the stuff going on. These are important conversations to have. So what type of world do we want? Do we want it like China, where I don't know if you saw that story a couple days ago, Blake, but your social media score, you have a citizen ranking.
Going up for a while, yeah.
And you're being banned from travel, and you're
like
being
Black Mirror.
You're being depersoned. You know, you're just. This is creepy. Let it all out. And if you don't like what somebody has to say, guess what? Give them more rope so that they can do what they do best with it. If they're saying dumb things, let them keep putting their words in their mouth. You know, if you're not doxing people, if you're not calling for violence and staging a crime like actively that we've seen with Black Lives Matter, with flash mobs, we've seen this stuff all over the place. The tactics of the left, Occupy Wall Street, Antifa. You name yourself anti-fascist, and you are the fascist that shuts up free speech. Like, I'm living in a cuckoo clock, bro. Like, I'm in a cuckoo clock. It's like up is down, left is right, and common sense rebuttal of the mayhem, of the crazy, that gets deboosted. That gets throttled. And I think it's kind of ridiculous. And the one thing that makes me happiest is that it is all falling apart. Keith is adding in here, that's just like the Nazis burning books. Oh, yeah, exactly. Or it's like ISIS knocking down temples they don't like, if it's a god or something that they don't believe in. So now we're tearing down statues and we're renaming John Wayne Airport, and everything's a microaggression. And if Kevin Hart can't host the Oscars because he tweeted something 10 years ago, it's like, I don't know where these lynch mobs and pitchforks and torches, like, where are they coming from? Is it all Soros? Is it all the DNC? Is it who's behind this stuff? But while we have a voice, I want to use it to talk to you guys about it, because I think through talking about this, we're going to be able to impact a change. Comments over here. She's saying the white cat knows all. So Halo, see, he's chilling. Hold on, let me see if I can.
Oh, there you
Show
go.
Halo.
Again.
Where's Halo? Nice to see you.
Say hi, Halo.
Hello. What's up, buddy? So anyway, she's saying the white cat knows all. Yes, Halo is the man, the myth and the legend. Let's see. This is just like high school. Popular kids are the rich, smart kids. The poor ones seem to be the big dogs. Okay, smart kids. Yeah, obviously. Okay, so popular kids and the poor kids, whatever. Seems big dogs, just by the way, in the new age too. Yeah, I mean, I think the big dogs have always been trying to silence people that are competing against them. Like, I understand it, but it shouldn't be allowed. It shouldn't be tolerated. In the marketplace of ideas, let the viewers win. Let the content float to the top organically, naturally. And if you also want to put out what you think are your most important stories, a la Drudge Report, these are the top 10 stories I found for today, do it. Your algorithms, my algorithms. I love how it's just kind of pawned off on AI. It's like, the hive mind is taking care of it. Bullshit. You guys are the ones that are programming it. You guys are the ones that are creating it. And it's got to fall apart. Keith is saying, oh no, Mauricio. All right, hold on. Keith says, but it's perfectly okay to assault someone in a MAGA hat. Exactly, Keith. I've seen how many of those videos in the past couple of days, people being assaulted. And then I saw the one girl that ended up getting deported, or she's being held, the Brazilian. guy's filming it, and she knocks into his hat and starts assaulting him, and she ended up getting arrested, and she is in the country illegally. No wonder. Oh wow, what a weird thing to say. Let's build a wall and let's get a grip on our immigration status. Wow, the person attacking someone just wearing a red hat. As far as I know, he wasn't even saying, engaging in stuff. He just got attacked. I've seen it in the hallways at school. I saw a new video like that. I saw the kid at the fast food place have his drink thrown on him by these out of control leftists that are suffering from Trump derangement syndrome. I mean, from Jussie Smollett to the Kavanaugh hearings to it's just all across the board.
Covington
It's
kids.
over the top. The Covington kids, absolutely. Mauricio here says ISIS destroying artifacts has more to do with erasing clues to history than it does religious bullshit. That is if ISIS is some kind of proxy mob, like many suspect. Yeah, okay, obviously, you're fighting for who controls the past now, controls the future, who controls the present now, controls the past. It's that Rage Against the Machine, now sleep now in the fight. Is that the one? No, now testify. That's the one. But yeah, okay, so ISIS doing that. It could be a multiple approach, a multi-pronged approach to that. Getting this one saying, yes, Black Mirror, good reference, Blake. Saying research the United Nations connected to, what is that? Blavatsky and Theosophy dudes. Masons too. Black Magic, yo. Hey, something to look into. Absolutely. No comments over here. We need more comments over on this one. But yeah, we're streaming live on all of these things. Thank you. On YouTube, on Facebook, all the stuff. So anyhow, we've reached the point now where we've covered a couple of our major stories. Let's kind of do a little bit of a lightning round with some other stuff. How many more do we have left? A few? 2, 3, 4. All right, let's go. We'll try to cap it to, 3 to 5 minutes.
We only got about 6 minutes, right? We want to keep this under an hour?
Yeah, let's go.
51:45?
Yeah.
Third most powerful Vatican official found guilty of child rape. That was in Australia. Former third most powerful Vatican official and Australia's most senior Catholic official, Cardinal George Pell, has been found guilty of child sexual abuse in a Melbourne trial. So that's very significant. That's really looking bad for the Vatican. Okay, how about?
No. I mean, let's give it a. I mean,
sure.
Now I don't. How do you want to do this? Are we going to split all these stories into standalones?
That's not going to be a standalone. We'll get into that maybe another time if we want to.
I mean,
find the follow up. But
any day is
mentioned.
I would say any day is a good day to take a couple minutes to discuss child rape, child trafficking, human trafficking. No. I mean,
John Podesta. That was
to shine a spotlight. The cockroaches hate the sunlight. Cockroaches cannot stand the sunlight. Oh, by the way, tap the notifications. Either whatever face you're making the.
Thank you.
Exasperated face and then the angry face. I'm assuming that's because of these people being gross to children. But give us some thumbs up and likes and hearts and all the faces. Just do that for a little bit. It's fun. It shows the algorithm that you're paying attention. And like I said, all hail algorithm. All hail algorithm. Let us speak. I'm speaking that into existence. So there's that.
And speaking of that, we'll segue right into speaking of taking advantage of minors. We have R. Kelly, who apparently posted bail a couple days ago. Some lady, some local business owner.
You know a business? You know what she did?
She had restaurants. She had a few.
Keep going.
Daycare. She had daycare too. Yeah.
Daycare.
Yeah.
Of children. I'm sorry.
That's horrible.
If you know how fast I would yank my children out of the school that this daycare worker, this daycare owner, puts up $100,000 for R. Kelly, who's been kidnapping and keeping these underage girls, allegedly, as sex slaves, his cult, 14-year-old girls.
Yeah, he made videos and that's where
fast,
comes back in.
How fast I would yank my kids out of pedophile university. That they're little. I'm sorry.
Everybody deserves a
defense and a day in court. Absolutely.
We already know this guy's been up to no good for a long time.
But a daycare owner putting where does a daycare owner get an expendable $100,000? Step one. Number two, do you trust this person with your kid now? Since they're going after I don't know. They're putting their money where their mouth is to help this guy.
I agree. Yeah, just to be at the top of like protecting children.
Yeah.
And yeah, I guess she's a big R. Kelly fan. I don't know. That's pretty messed up.
Malcolm posted in here just something that it's kind of interesting. He says, "You are your thoughts, your deeds, your morals. You are not your religion. Religion is your protection." And I think there's a lot that could be said for breaking down what religion is, what it isn't. That is a pretty good point. And a cult priestess saying daycare trafficking ring ? Hey, yeah, is this a pizza shop? What is this? Ping pong
at this point? Yeah, I have a suspicion that a lot of very high level people in many different industries are involved in some kind of awful stuff. We'll just say, well, occult stuff.
Oh, I think Keith is responding now. He's going, have you seen how much daycare costs? Okay, I guess it's easy to find $100,000 of expendable income to back a multi-Grammy award-winning famous musician / pedophile. I guess it's easy to find $100,000 extra laying around for that. But no, I'm not familiar with daycare costs. But good point. All right, fair. I've heard it's pretty outrageous. A cult priest is saying orphanages used to traffic too, and secret adoptions. Man, like how bad is stuff underneath the surface? How many layers of the onion do you have to peel off to like
really foul stuff? And that's why it hasn't been out, because if we really looked at John Podesta's emails and look where that goes, and with the Catholic Church and the music industry, Hollywood, there's all kinds of, and of course Washington, there are big high level pedophiles because they're easy to blackmail. You can put them in positions of power. They'll do anything because they don't want to be exposed. And we can only hope that gets exposed. It's for the greater good, because we can't have these kind of people having that much power and wealth and being involved in these really despicable things. Or we really have no future for this planet. So anyway, Brian.
Anyway, no, I just,
Yeah.
Are we out of space? What was that?
It was just on a little camera, so I don't even know if we're going to use that footage anyway. So no worries.
What little camera? This one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we're definitely going to use this footage. Bear with us. Claps for Blake. There you go. You got some claps on that one.
Hey, thank you.
Cool. All right. Yeah. So, but you should see. We got to take a picture of our studio. But it's not. Oh, maybe I can. Maybe I'll Here's what I'll do. I'm going to take a picture. There you go. Watch this. I'm going to show you what we're getting into. There we go.
Brian, so we only got a couple minutes left.
Hold on. I'm going to show everybody. Yeah. Whoop. Why did that go?
Or does this go over an hour? Or is that just the general guide?
Just a general guide, I think.
It's not going to shut off.
It should be easy. I took a picture. Why didn't the picture take? The last shot may be blurry. I don't care. Just show me the picture. Weirdo. So here's what we're doing. I don't know if you can see it. We got comments. I'm sorry. We have multiple cameras. Here you go. I'll show you my other camera.
Set up for now. It's all going to be changing quickly.
Yes. But that's what we're doing. We got multiple cameras. We're editing this stuff. The show is going big. Go big or go home is what I always say.
Right.
Okay, please continue, Blake.
Okay, so we got just a couple other, down to 3. We'll do a quick one. Jon Stewart commending the Trump administration on their excellent work to help 9/11 first responders who have been left out, ignored, treated horribly like they don't exist. Because the government said that the area was safe. These people are some of the greatest heroes in our country. I'm proud of Jon Stewart, who is also, who's been a huge critic of Donald Trump, but he's also highly supportive and disturbed about the way the first responders have been treated. And it's about time these guys get medical help, because they're in serious problems, and they were lied to about the conditions. And so it's good that they're going to get the help that they need. Yeah, the first responders working in the rubble of the Twin Towers, they were told by the EPA that the air was safe to breathe. Many developed lung cancers and other diseases from their exposure. Stewart first joined the responders at the Capitol to demand that Congress fully fund the health care of the first responders who have developed health issues as a result of their heroic life-saving work. And so he didn't want to get into any other political stuff. He just said that President Donald Trump is doing excellent work delivering for them, even noting that its efficiency has caused a funding shortage because the claims are being processed so rapidly. So he called on Congress to step up and secure future funding for the program. So that was pretty cool.
I took a trip out to Manhattan just shortly after the attacks. It didn't seem real. So I drove from Ohio to New York and, went down there to ground zero. I don't know what I was huffing in, I wasn't there the day after. I was there, relatively shortly after. I don't know if I was exposed to anything. But just to think that there are first responders who are not being taken care of.
People that spent weeks digging through rubble. And that is
that's
definition
distressing
of heroism. And,
it's distressing that it's taken, how many years? Jeez.
18 years.
18 years ago, the world changed.
Almost, yeah.
Or whatever, 17 years.
Change.
So, good for. All right, I'm glad Jon Stewart's doing work there, and I'm glad that he's approving and calling attention to what President Trump is doing to help those people. And this guy isn't a monster on everything he does. Even if you do drink the Kool-Aid, there are some good things that are happening. That being one of them. Unless someone wants to argue with me on that, is it a microaggression against against second responders?
Yeah. No. It's just good to have some intellectual honesty, not just pure hostility.
Well, that's what you liked about Jon Stewart. That's why you actually liked him. I'm sure you don't watch Trevor Noah religiously.
I don't. I have no interest anymore. He had some little funny cameo in with the Oscars the other day. That's cool, but
he did have a good take.
Inside joke.
I saw a Trevor Noah take on Jussie Smollett, and it was good. It was actually honest.
That was.
It was intellectually honest.
Yeah.
Jussie Smollett. He called him to task. Said, hey, now we're judging him by the content of the character, not the color of the skin. We're judging him because he's an asshole. And it's like, yes, all right, good. You don't have to defend your tribe at every turn. There are good things that people do. There are regrettable things that people do. There are mistakes. There's things that get blown out of proportion. And then there's pure evil. So you got to call things out like they are, So anyway, I did see that one thing, but yeah, I'm not a big Trevor Noah fan. I don't find him that funny.
No, because he's
I like funny stuff, and
he's smart. He's a
make me laugh
handsome guy, but
he's handsome.
What?
He's handsome. You led with.
No, so I said smart. He's an interesting guy.
And handsome. He's gorgeous.
Yeah. Oh yeah, sure he is. Right.
No. Yeah, it hasn't been the same, but I know you were a really big Jon Stewart fan, and it's a very different kind of.
It's
Daily
show. It's not funny like it used to be, and it's become more politically motivated. I think that's part of the reason he stepped down to Jon Stewart, because he didn't want to, carry water for the Democrats anymore and be involved and be under the pressure of trying to, have a certain angle on stories. So I think he was one of the only reasonable voices they had.
Well, as far as late night goes, I mean, I gotta probably say I think Steven Crowder's doing better stuff than most of the other people I'm watching. As far as late night goes, Steven Crowder's hilarious. I love watching his show.
Yeah, sometimes nice.
It's interesting stuff, and it's at a fraction of the team and the budget that these big dogs have. And Jay Leno used to be him and Johnny Carson, and then Jay Leno. They were equal opportunity people. They would bash the right. They would bash the left. They never got into really preachy, self-flagellation, self-adulation. Ooh, those are good. Self-flagellation and self-adulation.
Is that what he's doing? Halo? I can't quite get the camera angle on that.
That's hilarious. Yeah. That's the funniest joke nobody's going to get except for me. That was good. But yeah, it's not about virtue signaling. It's about telling a joke. and you make fun of all of them. And I think that's the way it's supposed to be. I would like to see more of that. You just got to call it for what it is. Sometimes you got to give props to the team you're rooting against. Like, I don't like the Steelers, but they were one of the only franchises that stood up when the Cleveland Browns were taken out of Cleveland and said, "This is wrong. What you're doing is wrong. I don't like this. It's our rival. We hate the team, but we love the rivalry. Like, this should not be happening." So occasionally your enemy becomes someone who speaks truth, who backs you, and you can team up on stuff. So good on Jon Stewart. Too bad that these first responders have had to suffer as much as they have, and hopefully President Trump and others can help assist them and their families as they continue to cope, heal, and move on. Sadly, for so many of them who have passed away to complications from, the injuries sustained by trying to
cancer.
attend. Yeah, absolutely.
So speaking of teams that people don't like, what about the Patriots? Owner Robert Kraft. It's kind of last week's story, the big bombshell over the weekend. We've got Patriots owner Robert Kraft, formally charged in the Florida prostitution sting, and that the charges reveal a sordid world thriving in Florida. So we didn't cover this last week, Brian. So I thought we could.
No, we meant to, but I mean, once again, this gets right back to. I mean, seriously, how many stories? We got a Catholic priest. We got R. Kelly. We got daycare. We have, what are we talking about?
There's a lot of Podesta.
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 Creepy.
Podesta the molester.
Oh man, yeah. Who's that?
And I get Patriots. I don't know. This was certainly nowhere near this. In fact, I don't even think this should have been a public story in a certain way. I don't know.
Well, here's what happened.
Public shaming of all of these.
Well, here's what happened. So there was a sting. There was an undercover investigation, and he was, what was he? He was on tape. He was an 80-year-old man getting a hand job or something.
Yeah, he's going there with a massage parlor, and
they keep massaging.
Yeah.
Okay. But what it's digging down to, yes, it's John shaming and it's hooker shaming or whatever you call it. And look, if it is a free and equal exchange of
it's two consenting adults.
Two consenting adults, right?
A contract, and I don't have any issue with that.
You could take somebody to dinner for
a minor, or
what was it, an $80?
The thing is, there's one thing that bothers me is that he was really underpaying for his services. He's worth $4 billion, and he's trying to get a massage and a hand job for $79 or something. That's kind of taking advantage of people. Now, it would be bad if he knew that they were, sex slaves.
Thank you. That's where this is getting into the story.
Right. Now, if he was knowingly taking advantage of people that are part of these trafficking programs, then of course that's not good.
A cult priest is saying shame is toxic. However, morals, remember those? Yeah. And this is what I'm getting at. Yes, this was a voluntary exchange of two consenting adults, whatever. Where it gets into it is how much of this industry, of the sex work industry, is from people being human trafficked. We'll get you in from Guatemala, but you're gonna have to do us a few favors. Yeah, you can come in from China, but you're gonna have to do us a few favors, and you're an indentured servant. I mean, this is kind of nothing new. It all
needs to be exposed.
It was the Irish in New York. It was African cargo ships. There were people on that continent who were taking their own people and rounding them up and selling them in chains to go. We were talking about Portland. We were talking about Portland, Oregon, being known for Shanghaiing people. When was it? In the what age range?
1880s and 1940s, maybe.
So it was something about
Prohibition,
during Prohibition,
19
teens or something.
Yeah.
But Shanghai, people go in and get drunk at the bar, and the bar is on the waterfront, and you have a secret trap door, and you drop somebody through, and you put some cuffs on them, you send them off on a boat, and then all of a sudden you're in the Indies. And now you're chained out. You got to work.
Yeah.
You've just been kidnapped and
grab a paddle and start rowing.
This what this any type of evil should be exposed like this, so yes, the Patriots owner getting caught up in it, I don't know if he knew or what he knew, but if there are people that are being held against their will and they're as collateral,
working 7 days a week, they couldn't leave. I mean, that's disgusting. They need to go round up the people at the top and
So there's
there's
a concurrent, there's a running theme here, and I think that theme needs to be, we all need to do a little bit more to defend people that are in legitimately vulnerable, horrible, toxic, awful situations. Try to secure freedom for everybody. That doesn't mean, that is such a far cry from what Marianne Williamson and some of these guys are. Oh, we need reparations from people that didn't suffer under slavery, from people that didn't own a slave. Yes, see, you're a victim too. Call us. There's I can see the attorney. I can see like the late night attorney. We should do a skit with late night attorneys. Hi, I'm Brian J. Engelman, and it's not Jay. Have you been wronged by slavery? Were your ancestors, maybe or maybe not, part of the slave trade? Call us at 1-800-MIX-A-LOT and kick them nasty pots. We'll get you reparations. There's no denying that horrible things happened hundreds of years ago. There's no denying that every group of people could claim. There's no group of people that is exempt from saying, I've been marginalized, I've been victimized, I've had a hard time. Where does this end? I think it ends at provide an equal opportunity for success today and try to help rescue people that are, I don't know, being abused by disgusting, filthy priests, people that are being held against their will to give handjobs to NFL owners. Like, okay, this is common sense. I think we can agree on this. But then again, maybe everything I said was just totally off the rails, and I'm going to get de-throttled, or what do they call it?
Platform?
No, the other one. Deboosted.
Oh, yeah, deboosted.
Deboosted.
That's the new one.
It's a Mario. Here we go. Sorry, I love Mario Kart. Anyway, so yeah, let's defend the people that are in the most vulnerable, awful situations, right? Don't worry about color, race, creed, religion, preference, any of that stuff. Just help people that need some help. Do it locally. All right, what else?
Like Robert Kraft, paying between $59 and $79 to help the locals in Fort Lauderdale. Or no,
Kraft mac and cheese.
No. Anyway, we'll move on from there. Last story I really had, Brian, we can just touch on is out of...
oh, hold on. Before you touch on it, she's saying, call me to do skits. I have wigs to share. Thank you, Occult Priestess. I want to see Mr. Blake Walley wearing a wig for our next episode. That is your task, should you choose to
you never know.
Accept it.
It's possible.
Oh, this is interesting. Occult Priestess saying Marianne Williamson is a CIA shill.
Really?
Interesting. I'd love to hear more about that. And Malcolm is saying, fast, meditate, and pray to fight wicked. Let me restart that. Malcolm said, fast, meditate, and pray to fight wickedness. And I've been getting into the fasting a little bit. I've really been trying to take stock of myself and making sure that I'm paying enough or a proper amount of attention to my health and well-being. And a big part of that for me has been getting consumption under control. And so I've been doing some fasting. Meditation is high on my list of things. I did a little bit of it today and yesterday. But yeah, I did a couple 2-day fasts. And after 2 or 3 of those went well, I turned a 2-day fast into a 3-day fast, 72 hours. I think there's something to it. All of the, what's that?
I say I witnessed. Yeah.
Yes, he witnessed. I did it. I kept it going. But yeah, I think since most of the major religions talk about, whether it's Ramadan, is it Ramadan where they fast, or then like at the night from sundown to sun up, and then the Jews do it. It's in the Bible. It's interesting. So I think that there's something I was reading about, and I'm not a doctor, and I'm not encouraging you to do anything before you consult your personal physician, of course. But I was reading up on something where after a couple of days of fasting, your body starts to remove the cells that are the weakest, that are like perhaps corrupted, because the cell regeneration that we have, and I forget the numbers, after a certain amount of days or a certain amount of hours or a certain amount of time passes, all of your cells regenerate. You're a totally different person than you were X amount of time ago, whatever that time frame is.
7 years or something.
Yeah, 7 years. So if you fast and you're forcing your body to remove the things that it says, all right, you're the least valuable thing here, we're going to jettison you while we're conserving resources, or something along those lines. I think there's something to it. So anyhow.
Yeah, well, some interesting health benefits to fasting. Yeah, there's saw a documentary on Amazon about that.
Mm-hmm. I'm a big fan, so thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah, Science of Fasting or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I watched that. The extreme fasting looks fascinating.
Yeah.
It looks fascinating.
Good one. All right, Brian. Well,
is that the end of our show?
I got this. I said one more
quick
story.
Hits, quick
I want
hits.
to touch on it. Yeah, this is it. It's talking about the Democrats. The Green New Deal would cost $93 trillion, over 4 times the national debt. That's your girlfriend, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Radical Green New Deal would cost over 4 times the national debt, according to a study released on Monday. American Action Forum, a conservative nonprofit run by former Congressional Budget Office Director Douglas Holtz-Eakin, released a study on Monday which found that Ocasio-Cortez's Green New Deal could cost somewhere between 51 and 93 trillion over the next 10 years. Yeah, so America's current national debt surpassed 22 trillion, which means the Green New Deal would cost 4 times more than that. Anyway, yeah, so a lot of pie in the sky, idealist stuff. This is socialism, and she's a 27-year-old activist trying to pitch her ideas, and maybe some of it's well-intentioned, but it's not going to hold up very well in the real world.
AOC. I don't know if you could get a more beautiful gift for the Republican Party and Donald Trump. Yeah, this is interesting. Looking at this, pictures of AOC, Ocasio-Cortez, out to dinner with her chief of staff. He's having a hamburger. Okay, so it's not her having the hamburger. I'm okay.
Yeah.
So the chief of staff is having a hamburger. Oh, she's just.
Oh, that sounds good.
She's just. It does.
I want a hamburger now.
Hey,
we have hamburgers for lunch.
How about Father's Office?
Ooh.
Oh Lord, did I just say that out loud? Anyway, okay, so yeah, Ocasio doing her thing. It's just, I can't take any of this lightly because it's gotten this far.
But you should, because she suggested that the world will end in 12 years if we don't address climate change.
Oh, that is such a great cult.
So it's 93 trillion.
I liked how
is a small price to pay for the end of the planet in 12 years.
Oh,
maybe.
Oh,
there you go.
Okay. It reminds me of Al Gore. You know, he had his predictions. You know, these snake oil salesmen. I don't even know what to say about them. They just playing on fear. Don't say that's exactly what Donald Trump does with the wall. It's like, dude, every place has a wall. If you want to restrict access, have your bodyguard, have your doorman, have your ID person working the door, check your ID, collect admission, pay the cover, and come on in. Have a good time. Just make sure that you're on our team and you're not causing a detriment to the group.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty straightforward. One final comment saying, how do you pronounce that? Milarepa fasted so often that he learned to fly. Google him. Okay. Then that's on our radar. That's our homework. Google Milarepa. Milarepa, who fasted so often he learned how to fly. Actually, that'd
be worth it.
That's an Apuna Hasapima Petalan joke, who allegedly is getting written off The Simpsons. We'll see if it happens, as they apologize for essentially what they do. But he worked so many hours in a row at the Quickie Mart, he thought he was a hummingbird, and he's caught on the surveillance camera floating and flying. Wee! Maybe he had to be there. That's a classic Simpsons joke from classic Simpson seasons. Okay, so that's going to be the end of our show today. My name is Brian Engelman. This is Blake Walley. Are you still Blake the Eccentric? I want to say it sometimes.
Yeah, whatever.
Blake the Eccentric.
Still eccentric.
He's at Eccentric99. Follow him there. And yeah,
For
all
Shadow
things.
Man, but you know,
Yeah,
it's still my playground to some extent.
all things The New American Media. Follow us, support us. Just do all the things if you like us. Tell people about us. Engage with us. Give us money. Do it on Patreon or on the Super Chat. You know, at some point this will get rolling, and then the staff can be built, and we can do things. There's a game plan here.
Focus on production. Yeah.
There's a game plan here. It's all about to happen, but we can't do it without you. I guess we need some sort of a mud club, like leftist tears.
Crowder, and we're stealing Crowder's idea, though.
I mean,
we'll figure something out.
Right, like I think PBS invented this stuff in the 60s. PBS or 70s. When was PBS invented? 70s or 80s? I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, a tote bag. Get your zoo tote bag.
Yep.
Your TNAM tote. Leftist tears is pretty great, but he didn't invent that either. He's just using it. I mean, that had been around.
Right?
Yeah, TNAM T. Okay, anyway, that's all we got. Check us out later. We're going to put a whole bunch of things out there. We appreciate you guys sticking around. Appreciate you girls sticking around. Appreciate everyone sticking around. And we'll talk to you soon. To be continued.
Thanks,
Love
everybody.
you all.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
If you have an auction, that's a good idea.
An auction?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. For what?
I don't know.
We're still
money. Raise some money.
Oh, heck yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. A rapper mocks leftists by smashing women's weightlifting records as a woman. A rapper by the name of Zuby, British rapper. The greatest troll master, testing the limits of gender fluidity by lifting some weights. How did you think it went? Oh, I gotta watch this. I identify as a woman now. Welcome to 2019. See you guys soon.
All right.
Peace. Thank you for watching.
Thanks, everybody.